Hello. A non-Roblox related video? How surprising. Welcome to a first for my channel, a commentary video that isn't about Roblox events that slowly eat at my mental state more than my prolonged unemployment. This video is going to go into my own personal nostalgia, one that had me in denial about if I was a brony or not. And it all started because of Portal 2.
Yeah, I know it's you!
No, it's not.
Jeffy, that's a stupid disguise, not fooling me!
Sir, I don't know what you're talking about.
Jeffy, take the disguise off, you're being stupid!
Let's start with talking about Portal 2. Portal 2 is a sequel of Portal 1, both games made by Valve back in 2007 for the first and 2011 for the second. They're both puzzle games where you're a woman named Shell who has to complete these dangerous puzzles made by a sadistic robot. The game is pretty fun up until you get to the end and you're rewarded a cake made potentially of dirt. Portal 2, however, stepped it up a bit by adding multiplayer. The multiplayer probably has a story, but I didn't play it much to figure out the story. However, you do play as a blue-eyed and orange-eyed robot named Atlas and Peabody, respectively. The multiplayer was pretty difficult from what I remember, but I suppose it was because me and my brother were not the best at communication. Let me know, my 10 viewers, if you'd like for me to get Jake to record ourselves playing Portal 2 multiplayer together. Anyways, why is this all important? Because it was the main series of a certain YouTube channel I used to watch. I used to have a phase when I was younger. At the time, I didn't know this would have been one of my first hyperfixations. During this hyperfixation phase, I used to watch YouTube series of different YouTubers playing Portal 2 multiplayer. One channel, however, stuck out more than the rest. This channel, get ready for this announcement, is BaldDumboRat. Okay, maybe not that serious for a build-up, but this YouTube channel definitely had my 11-year-old self running a lot of questions through my own mind. One of these questions being if I was a brony or not. At this current moment, no. I am a furry, but nowhere near being a brony. And how would this YouTuber make me think I might have been a brony by their Portal 2 playthrough series? Well, yeah. The YouTuber, who I should mention at this point used to be a female, but as of late has been transitioning into being a male, and I'm not too sure if it was his boyfriend or just a friend at the time, but he definitely had a male tagging along in their videos. Anyways, these two, during their series of them playing Portal 2, decided to add some spice into their videos by essentially acting as Derpy and Dr. Hooves, both from My Little Pony and, to my knowledge, two very loved characters that don't get a lot of screen time. Derpy and Dr. Hooves, for those who are not in the know, such as my mother, yeah, I know you're watching, I am so sorry you have to see the side of me, Mom. Anyways, these two are definitely characters. I am unsure if the Doctor ever had a clear personality, but Derpy definitely did. Derpy even had her own episode that, did get My Little Pony into a bit of controversy because of Derpy's character. In the canon, she was renamed to Muffins, but for the purpose of this video and the name of BaldDumboRat series, I'm going to stick with Derpy as the name. While on the topic of her, let me actually get to talking about the character for a bit. Derpy, from what I know, is one of the more clumsier ponies, who is directly named by Rainbow Dash in the second season episode, the last roundup. The direct naming and appearance of Derpy was the reason why the episode had to later be changed, so Derpy wasn't named by Rainbow Dash. I guess this happened because people believed Derpy was offensive or something because she mocked mentally disabled people. I mean, I can't see it personally, but maybe it's because I might be more mentally disabled than her. The other character, Dr. Hooves, to my knowledge, is mostly on fan and life support. As I don't think he has a solid personality in the show, or at least he didn't when the series came out, Dr. Hooves, or I guess Time Turner if you want me to be a nerd about it, was given that name because of Doctor Who or something. I never watched it, so I'm not going to question it. These two ponies in particular seem to be a very popular ship in the community, which I guess makes this Portal 2 series make more sense. Now, enough filler about these ponies meant for little kids. Let's talk about the series, the YouTuber, and how little Ethan almost became a brony.
Alla tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, que tu cuerpo es para dar la alegría y cosas buenas. Alla tu cuerpo alegría Macarena, Macarena.
The series itself was nothing too special to the common viewer, just two particularly silly individuals playing Portal 2 multiplayer, whilst role-playing as two ponies from a kid's show. Maybe it's a tad weird for some, but for my 5th grade self, Let me tell you, I ate this shit up like it was spaghetti. This was my brain rot. This was my personal skibbity toilet. I believe it was either the 2012 charm or the fact that I was, and sort of still am, a Portal nerd. While I do not know the names of these two, I can at least confirm one is BaldDumboRat. Now, what exactly happened in each of these episodes? Well, they, you know what, you'll never believe this, but they played Portal 2 multiplayer. Each of their episodes ranged from 16 minutes to an hour and a half long. They were posting feature-length films of just playing Portal. The episodes are not edited, but I believe they may have been streamed. This is apparent in the beginning of the first episode when BaldDumboRat pulled up some kind of chat. As for what streaming platform this may have been is beyond my own knowledge, but if anything it might be a very early Twitch. Truly, there isn't much to say about the series itself. It was just two people playing Portal 2, but just like any other YouTuber, this one also has other content they make. So why don't we begin talking about the creator himself. BaldDumboRat, to my surprise, still uploads rarely, with their most recent upload being about a month ago. But even then, this was just a re-upload of one of his comic dubs. Oh yeah, they do comic dubs and quite a few other comic-related stuff on their channel. The ones I saw from scrolling not too far down was Love-Struck Derpy, a comic about... oh, you'll never guess who. And My Magic Grandpa, which I assume is a comic about someone's magical grandfather. By the names of official comic dubs, I'm going to assume these are made by BaldDumboRat himself. He also has a lot of gaming content, such as modded Skyrim and Corpse Party. A lot of their older content definitely reeks of 2010. Some examples being some of his older videos where they voice acted as other ponies, the first of which surprisingly enough being Fluttershy and Rarity. Derpy not coming until the 5th video, where it would be considered the 3rd audition, but this time for Derpy. The role player for Doctor Who's not appearing until their video of Derpy meets Doctor Who's fan voices. The channel is definitely interesting, and is going on my list of channels with videos I should watch and or rewatch.
I dated a chick named Chica in high school. Oh, she had a big butt. I should give her a call.
Now let's talk about myself, Mr. Ethan Valentoro. How did this specific Portal 2 series almost turn me into a brony? While it was my first exposure to My Little Pony, it did convince me to slowly shift into the My Little Pony community for like a month. I never bought anything relating to My Little Pony or ever expressed my small liking of My Little Pony at the time because I knew my parents, especially my dad, wouldn't have really supported it. Not saying they're bad people, they've definitely supported me during my life, but I know they would have been weirded out if I began liking My Little Pony. But after that, I shifted out of the community as a whole. Yeah, not too interesting, but not a lot of my life is really all too interesting in the first place.
Hey, Pansy, can I go swimming in the lake? No, boy, there's a monster in that lake. He's gonna cut you up. What the fuck was that?
Now, in the beginning of making this video, this was going to be where the video would end. I'd do a shitty outro with even shittier gameplay in the background, but after showing the work in progress of this video to Derpy, he told me that he felt the video was unfinished. After thinking for a minute, I came to the realization that yes, it is unfinished. Not because I was done editing, but because there was a lot more stuff I needed to talk about. When I mean stuff, I mean the series itself. This video is supposed to be about how the series nearly turned me into a brony, so I'm going to actually talk about the first episode at least, simply explaining what they are trying to do and some moments I found to be even slightly funny. So let's get into the series, starting with episode 1. The first chamber is the tutorial chamber. The chamber where both players are expected to work together with one another to progress through the chamber. At the start, GLaDOS, after forcing them to wave at each other, asked both of them to use their ping tool to choose their favorite animal, in the Doctor's case, and element from the periodic table, in Derpy's case. The Doctor chose a pony for his favorite animal, unsurprisingly, while Derpy chooses cadmium, though I assume she chooses it because she does not know what those elements are. They progress through the chamber normally until they are meant to step on buttons to open the door for each other. The Doctor having to stand on the first button. After standing on the button, GLaDOS says that the weight of blue is being calculated or something. This leads to Derpy fat-shaming the Doctor. Not cool, Derpy. They proceed longer until Derpy is meant to stand on a button, deactivating walls that, if one of the robots were to walk through said wall, would completely reset their portals. While Derpy is on the button, the doctor places each portal so Derpy could get across the gap. Derpy, however, stepped off the button too early, completely resetting the doctor's portals. Again, Derpy. Not cool. Eventually, the doctor places the portals again only for Derpy to not know how to jump forward and complain that the doctor placed the portal too high despite the portal being at the lowest point it could be placed. Eventually, they get to the elevator thingies that would dismantle them and take them to the main hub. After arriving at the hub, they would soon find the level select thing where they select level 1. They arrive at Chamber 2 and do the puzzle normally until the doctor says something about needing to go through a door as fast as possible after he presses the button. After pressing said button, Derpy runs through the door while making the most ear-piercing FNAF jump scare scream straight into my earlobes. They complete the puzzle, moving on to the next. The next puzzle is where 4 buttons need to be pressed in a short span of time. The bad part? Neither of them are fast enough or even know what they are doing, so they are stuck on this puzzle for a solid 2 to 3 minutes before eventually figuring it out and moving on to Chamber 3. From this point forward, I've noticed the doctor calling Derpy as Ditzy. I was confused at first, so I looked it up and figured out that Ditzy is just a nickname for Derpy given to her by the community. If it feels like I'm rushing through this video and its chambers, it's because I am. I don't want to show off too much of the level until me and my brother get to playing it, assuming we do play it together at some point. Anyways, moving on to Chamber 3. Chamber 3 mostly consists of turrets and lasers. At some point in the chamber, Derpy is standing on a button that holds down panel things that create a floor or something. The doctor makes the horrible mistake of walking onto the panels while they are down. Why is this a mistake? It's because Derpy steps off the button and fucking murders him. Derpy, in all of episode 1, has been non-stop bullying the doctor. Chamber 4 has these boxes that one person has to step on buttons to make them move up and down while the other's supposed to ride boxes to the other side of the room. The doctor is unlucky enough to entrust Derpy with not murdering him again, but with the boxes. Derpy doesn't kill him, luckily, but the doctor does try to get a comeback by zapping Derpy with a laser. Besides that, there really wasn't anything else that was particularly funny. Chamber 5 is the last chamber shown off in the video. This chamber consists of a laser, again. Derpy did troll the doctor again by constantly evaporating any glass box the doctor has. Eventually, though, the trolling stopped and they make it through the chamber before the stream ends. Now, that was only episode 1. If you want to watch the rest of the series, a playlist containing all the videos will be linked in the description below. Now, what are my thoughts on the series? Is it good? Is it bad? Well, it's neither. It's more cringy than anything, but I can't be too harsh since it was made 12 years ago at this point. At the time, the series did entertain me. I enjoyed watching these grown people roleplay as ponies from a children's show struggle with a game about portals. If I was younger, I could probably answer more in-depth, but I am older and don't really remember too much of how I felt when I watched it the first time. Maybe some other day I will go over something relating to BaldDumboRat's content again. Perhaps the lore of Love-Struck Derpy? Maybe I force some of my friends to come together and dive into the depths of BaldDumboRat's Tumblr page? Who knows? I clearly don't. And that will be the end of this video. I didn't do too much research, as this video sprouted from just a random memory I had. I will have another video similar to this in the future, but it will probably be shorter as it's about a YouTuber I've long since forgotten. Hopefully BaldDumboRat is doing well in whatever it may be that he is working on, and I hope that someday they can upload something again. But until my next video, this will be all from me. Good morning, afternoon, night, whatever time you are in. See ya.